Agriculture cash crops. Today we'll be learning about the beverage crop. Tea and coffee are the two important beverage crops. So we'll be learning about tea. Tea is the most popular stimulating drink in the world. People drink tea more than any other beverage. Tea is made from the leaves of a tropical bush. Tea is valued for its flavor and stimulating qualities as well. Tea is also known as the queen of beverages. It is almost a universal drink. Next, the types of tea. There are three main varieties of tea: black tea, green tea, and the oolong tea. Firstly, let us talk about the black tea. It is a typical of India and Sri Lanka. It is processed by drying the leaves, crushing them in a machine, and fermenting them. This type of tea is popular in India and consumed with milk and sugar. Next, green tea. There is no fermentation in the processing of this type of tea. Therefore, green tea is not dried in the sun, but the picked leaves are heated immediately and roasted over a hot pan and then crushed in machines. They are usually taken without milk and sugar. Green tea is highly flavored and stronger stimulant. It is typically consumed in Japan and China. Next, oolong tea. It is made by partially fermenting or semi-fermenting the leaves. This gives tea leaves a greenish brown color. It is prepared in Taiwan. Most of it is exported to USA. Moving on, let us now talk about the climatic conditions. Firstly, temperature. The tea plant grows well in hot and humid climate. The ideal temperature for growth of tea is ranging from 13 degrees Celsius to 35 degrees Celsius. But 25 degrees Celsius is the ideal temperature. High humidity, heavy dew, and fog are helpful for the growth of young leaves. Frost damages the plant. Next, rainfall. The tea plant needs heavy rainfall between 150 to 250 centimeter. The rainfall should be well distributed throughout the year and should be in the form of frequent showers. It cannot tolerate long spells of dry conditions. Next, let us talk about soil. Tea plant requires well-drained, deep, fertile, sandy, loamy soil with a porous subsoil that allows the water to drain away since the roots cannot tolerate stagnant water. For this reason, hill slopes are preferred. The soil should be rich in organic matter and in iron content. Phosphorus and potash content in the soil imparts special flavors to the tea. Nitrogen in fertilizers are applied to increase the yield. Moving on, let us now talk about the methods of cultivation. Firstly, sowing. The seeds are planted in nursery beds where they grow for 9 to 12 months. When the seedlings are about 20 centimeter, they are transplanted in the main garden, or we could say in their permanent home in the tea garden or the tea states. The average lifespan of a tea bush is 50 years. Next, clonal planting. Cuttings known as clones are taken from the mother plant, known for its better yield, special flavor and quality, and they are grown in the nurseries. After a year, when they are 20 centimeters high, they are transplanted in tea gardens. This method is known as clonal planting. Well, the tea bushes are planted in rows about a meter apart. Rows of shady trees are planted alternatively with tea bushes to protect them from the hot sun and intensity of light. These are known as shelter belts. Next, pruning. Removing the central leader stem for quick development of the lateral branches is known as pruning. Tree plant normally grows to a height of 2 to 3 meters. Pruning becomes very essential. Firstly, to maintain the proper height of the plant, which is not more than 1 meter. This facilitates hand plucking. Next, it also helps in the growth of new shoots with softer leaves. Thirdly, it also helps in maintaining the shape of the tea bush. Next, harvesting. Tea leaves are ready for plucking in about 3 to 4 years when they produce a flush. So then, what is a flush in the tea bush? So, a new shoot in the tea bush, which consists of several leaves and a bud, is a flush in the tea bush. The finest tea is obtained from the young shoots, comprising 2 leaves and a bud known as fine plucking. Tea leaves plucking is a very skilled job, and usually female labor is employed for plucking. There are 15 to 20 pickings per year. Next, processing. To prepare black tea, the following are the main processes involved after picking. Firstly, weathering, rolling, fermentation, firing, sorting, and grading. Firstly, let us begin with weathering. The leaves are spread thinly over weathering racks, and hot air is blown over the racks to remove the excess moisture. This makes the leaves soft and flexible. Next, rolling. In this process, the leaves are twisted, which breaks the cell and exposes the natural juices to the fermentation. This gives tea its characteristic flavor. Next, fermentation. After rolling, the leaves are spread out on special trays for fermentation under controlled temperature and humidity conditions. In this process, the tannin in tea is partly oxidized, changing the color of the leaves to a coppery red. Next, firing or drying. This is the most critical stage in processing. Leaves are put on a conveyor belt and slowly passed through an oven set between 70 degrees Celsius to 75 degrees Celsius. At the end of the stage, the leaves look like normal black tea leaves we are familiar with. Next, sorting. The tea leaves are sorted according to the size. They are given different names. They are blended according to the taste, flavor, and quality. Next, grading. Grading is done according to the quality and brands and then packed in tin foil and plywood chest. Then it is ready for market and export. Well, tea is exported from Kolkata, which is the largest tea exporting port in the world, and from Kochi for tea produced in the south. The above mentioned stages of processing tea is known as the orthodox method. Nowadays, machines are being used to process the tea. Crushing, tearing, and curling machine CTC is one such machine which is widely used. It combines all the stages of processing into one. Moving on, let us now talk about the importance of tea industry. Firstly, India is the largest producer of tea in the world. Next, it is a labor intensive industry. Thirdly, it provides employment to over millions of people, including both the men and women, are employed in different jobs in the tea industry. Next, it earns a lot of foreign exchange. And lastly, the tea industry supports many other industries such as the plywood, fertilizer, and the transport industries. Now, let us talk about the areas of production. The main tea growing areas in India are firstly, the hill slopes of Brahmaputra and Surma valleys of Assam. Next, West Bengal, Darjeeling. Thirdly, the hill slopes of the Nilgiris, Palni, and Annamalai in the states of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, and Kerala. It grows in Kangra Valley and Garhwal district also. Assam is the largest producer of tea, contributing 53.2% of the total area. West Bengal is the second largest producer, and Tamil Nadu ranks third in its production.